So for folks that have now migrated to downtown LA, what people don't realize, because that's the new affirmation of downtown. Like you live there, you know. If you don't mind me asking, what are you paying your rent?
$3,700.
When I was there, I will tell you this. It was, you know, I caught.
It was a skid row.
It was exactly that.
Yeah.
You had Ernie's Liquor Store at the corner on 10th and Main, and you can get your cash check, you can buy some dough from Ernie, you can get a burrito, you get your ass whooped, you can possibly get murdered right there in front. And I sold dope. My homie Big Mike from Photos Broadway Gangster Crip, he was head of security, and he was a very private dude, but he knew my get down. And I said, look, man, I'm gonna give you a certain amount of money every night, just let me come down there. And it was the Huntington Motel on 9th and Main. When you first walked in, there was a little snack bar. The owner was this Middle Eastern Jew, and next door was a tailor shop, and it's a welfare hotel.
Oh.
It's a welfare hotel. But there was a penthouse, and the Middle Eastern owner dude loved women and loved dope. So for $300 a week, he gave me the first 2 top floors. This place is huge. When I was there, it was the ex-actress who's a heroin addict prostitute now. They're sucking dick for $5. That's paying her rent off of that, and it was a guy by the name of Lenny, who was the 6th smartest kid in New York City. He was one of those people that are overly smart, and the government basically just paid him. There was those type of people. It wasn't a downtrodden. No. It was predominantly white. It was the artist it was the drummer who played for Miles Davis, who was straight from Africa, that would tell you in a second, I'm not black. You know, it was those people. And my boy Mike was security, and he'd sell a little weed here and there, a little dope here and there, but I had the connection. And I terrorized that fucking hotel. I sold every drug known to man. You knew if you went. It was to a point where I had 9 rooms there. Like that movie New Jack City had that, and I could tell you a story on that, but I had 9 rooms this was your smoker room, this was your heroin room, this was your angel dust room, and you did not want to be caught out on Main Street. And this is how much law enforcement knew what I was doing. I had a cat that was getting cars, Range Rovers, Land Rovers, Town and Country Land Cruisers, right off the boats. I'm pulling in with no license plate, no nothing, and a cop pulls me over. And because I know I'm being recorded, back then they didn't have cameras, they had the radios. And he goes, oh, you play for the Rams, right? Yeah, you're heading over to your hotel I swear, man, I die. He knew. I had no paperwork on this car. It's not considered stolen, it's just not in the system.
Right.
And I'd have 14 to 15 bindles in my drop. Yeah. I'd have this much cocaine in this side, you know. Cop pulls me over, and I'm like, oh, yeah, man, I don't. And my cat, who would give me the car, he'd give me this bullshit registration. He'd give me plates eventually, but I had nothing. And he was like, oh, yeah, you play for the Rams, don't you? You always stay at the hotel, because the Rams still had the thing over there. He goes, you stay at the hotel over there and let me go. That was the relationships of knowing that that hotel owner was paying off the cops, and I was paying the hotel owner to make, you know what I mean? And so when America now is looking at downtown as this new hip place to live, it was not like that. And way before me, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, but 90s during the crack epidemic, brother, I could sit here and multi-platinum selling female musicians taking care of me because I'd put them in a room and give them some dope. Some of the biggest NBA players and football players is put in a room and told, hey man, just leave one of your security with me and just I'll let you know when I'm done. And by the time you look up, this person done smoked $15,000 worth of cocaine. Because back then you're talking 91, I went to prison in 92, so I was at the Huntington Motel 90, 91. An ounce of cocaine then, it really wasn't that much. It was hard, 400, 500, 450, hard. Now if it was pure soft, 800, but I would take that and flip that 4 times over, But you're talking about the epidemic was so bad, I never worried about another gangbanger.
Did you accumulate, at that point, were you accumulating a lot of money or you're making it and spending it?
No, I never spent. I'm the cheapest, most frugal fucking person you'll
So
meet
you
to
were
this day.
accumulating.
I had a beautiful home on an acre of land in Sunland.
And you're in your late 20s? Mid-20s?
So if I'm 51 now, what was I at 90?
That's almost 30 years ago. So you're 22, 23.
Yeah, I was young. I had 2 children at the time. I remember, I got shot first time, and my wife was Korean. I met her same kind of through Ice-T. Everybody knew I was that dope dealer, and I see the most gorgeous Korean girl at this club, and I'm like, and she's like, and I just didn't give up and ended up with her. We have 2 beautiful children, but no, I had a clothing store on Crenshaw called Colorblind Clothing. This was during what's MC Breed says in a song, I'm gonna ask you jeans. Da, da, da. Like, I was the first person to ever bring name brand clothing. This was before the Slauson swap meet, the rodeo swap meet. And I had, Ask. It was called Ask Jeans or something like that. ASKED or something. Ask You or whatever. Gerbo Jeans. And I was right there on Crenshaw on 48th. That's what I would put my money into. I wasn't thinking about music. I could give 2 shits. The first night I had this Camry, and this dude who would be with Injured Joe breaks into my car. And Big Mike comes to get me. He's like, yo, this motherfucker broke into your car, blah, blah, blah. Big Mike would have the police siren on his car and have the whole jacket and everything. I'm not knowing what this dude looks like. I'm just told this dude broke into my car. So Mike comes to get me. We shoot down the liquor store. I see a motherfucker that's like 6'3", 6'4", but I've always been retarded and kind of, I had this intense thing for knocking out big dudes. So I get out the car and boom! I think my adrenaline swung before I really aimed, and all I remember him doing is looking at me. He was like, I'm gonna fuck your red ass up. So that kind of turned me on, like, all right, fuck it. So Mike cuffs him. I'm seeing the Indian dude. I'd seen him a bunch of times, long ponytails. He hand him something, take him back. True story, my dad and I beat the dog shit out of this dude. He angered me because when I hit him the first time, he made a noise like a girl. So that story you hear Mike Tyson, where he's like, when this dude made that, this dude's huge. And he let out this like,
Oh, and it's in Tyrell Big.
yeah, and it just angered me. Long story short, I'm getting out my car, maybe 2 days later, and Joe walks up to me. He's like, oh, what's up, Crip nigga or something like that. He's like, yeah, you beat up so-and-so. He's like, yeah. He goes, hey, but let me get a deuce. A deuce is $10 worth of heroin, $10 worth of angel dust. Same thing. And I would have a blue balloon and a red balloon, whatever it was. Well, anyone that knows me knows I crave Snickers. That was my thing. Not anymore, but for some fucking reason, I went through this phase. I had to have a Snicker every day. So I give him the 2 balloons. He hands me a 20. I go inside. I turn right. The girl Sarah who works there says, let me get a Snicker. I hand her the 20, waiting for my change. She goes, what are you, cracking jokes? You don't give me half something? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a half a 20. And it's a fake 20.
So ripped in half.
Yeah. And I'm like, who I am today is not this story. And I just saw red. And I see him holding his pants. He was a big boy. jogging across the street. And I'm like, hey. And he like, oh shit, my bad, man. I'm gonna go to my car. And I knew his fucking car because he drove this green Caprice. And I'd hear stories that, and my only thought is, let me catch him before he gets to his car. Yeah. So my homeboy Bear Claw's there, and I'm like, I don't think I handed Bear Claw anything. The story's so old. I just know I catch the dude, and when I catch him, I slide him. When he falls forward, if you go to 9th and Maine tomorrow, if you're on the west side corner of 9th and Maine, there's the sewer thing. So the curb is like this high. So when he falls like this and rips this wide open. And he just basically drowns to death on his own saliva and his own blood. I angrily step on the back of his head, go through his pockets. I'm not even thinking, and it's desolate at this time. Desolate. But I'm stomping him, I'm angry. I go through his pockets, he got nothing. So I take his keys and go through his trunk, and he had a pistol there. So I took the pistol. And I remember he had a bumper jack, and for some fucking reason, I just wanted the bumper jack. I always wanted a bumper jack. I can't make this shit up. So I run back across the street. Bear Claw's like, yo, get upstairs. So I get upstairs. Remember the big phone, the big gray Motorola? So
not a bag phone.
No, I had that one too, though.
After the bag.
Yeah, the Motorola, the brick. We call him the brick.
Yeah.
And I called Bear Claw, and I said, man, go check on him. And I can't get service when I was on the 8th floor, so I had to go down to the mezzanine, and my phone rings like, man, that nigga's dead.